Yeah folks, and welcome back to West Yorkshire Retro Gamer. Unfortunately, Leeds lost out on getting Igor Pajau, so this made me think about what we could try and get instead. So I've come up with a new possible new Leeds United starting lineup. And let's just take a look at things and see how things have developed since I did one of these last time. So, it's been confirmed. Leeds have got Brazilian goalkeeper Lucas Perry. About £15 million. At right back, I am still sounding out Tomiyasu. He's a free transfer. Wouldn't be available initially, but we've got Byram as a backup. And if we could get Tomiyasu fit by October, which is the estimated date that he would be back fit, then he still becomes available for a fair chunk of the season. On a free transfer, I don't think you can go wrong if there's a possibility of being able to get him fit. That's the key. Otherwise, we need to look at an alternative right back. As really good as Bogle's look so far, we're going to need a backup. Because I think Byram will be seen as a backup left back, which I'm not overly comfortable with. For me, Byram would be the backup right back. But I'm not the manager. So, yeah, Tomiyasu on a free, when he's fit, good player. And ultimately, with his injury issues that he's had in previous seasons, I think he'd just jump at the chance of having one final crack at the Premier League. And it frees up transfer money for other players. We've already got £5 million worth of Sebastian Bornau. We've already got about 17, I think it was 17 million possibly for Jacobiol, and about 10-11 million for Gary Goodmanson. So that would constitute our new backline. We've confirmed the signing of Anton Start, which again about 17 million for him, 18 million maybe. Sean Longstaff has come in for 12 million. I still think that Alvin Sanchez could do a job for us. If we're going to play 4-3-3, certainly 4-3-3 in possession and 4-5-1 out of possession, I think Sanchez would complement Longstaff and Start very well. Brings a different type of midfield to the table. A little bit more attacking, but he's still young. I think he's still only like 22-year-old, 23. So get him to be that little bit tougher, that little bit more defensive. Add it to his game, and we go from there. So I had a look at other wingers. Now, I did a striker video, and Riccardo Orsolini, who I believe is at Bologna, got 15 goals in 30 games in Serie A. Thereabouts. He'd be a fantastic signing on the right wing. That kind of goal output can't be sniffed at. And same kind of thing can be said for Daizen Maeda at Celtic, and I know it's the Scottish League, but the kid knows where the goal is. And yes, we've got Lucas Nemecha, but we're going to be losing both Patrick Bamford and probably Matteo Joseph. So we're going to need an 11 plus one more. So, how about Johnny Burkhard? In that striker video that I came up with, excellent record. in the Bundesliga last season for Frankfurt. I mean, could we pull the boat out for him? The German connection between Farke and Burkhardt. So would he work with Stark? I don't know. But if we got this kind of lineup, I'm thinking this is pretty damn good. I really do. I just, like, you could possibly argue that maybe we would need someone a little more defensive than Sanchez, but I don't think you get enough forward momentum from Longstaff. Longstaff is a central midfield leader. He's going to be a player that's going to roam around that centre circle. Whereas Sanchez is going to have that little bit more forward thinking about his game, can support the front three. I think Maeda and Orsolini would be, oh, wow, that's goals, baby. That's G&A. And Burkhardt, I mean, why not? The guy can score goals. He's proved it. In a good league, Bundesliga. If we're not going to splash the cash on Pajau, then, pull the boat out for getting Orsolini and Burkhardt and Maeda. You're probably looking at around 20 million each for those three. So those three alone, if we got those three for somewhere between 60 and 70 million, I don't think it's bad business. They're all at the right kind of age, between that 25 and 29 age bracket, which is what the 49ers have been looking at. Sanchez is on the younger side. He's a little under it, so maybe that's another thing that they're looking at, that they wouldn't really entertain that. Tomiyasu, I believe, is up and around the 28, 29 area, but comes with that Premier League experience. Oh, I don't know. Like, I don't think we'd end up with a lineup like this, but I wouldn't mind it, I wouldn't mind it at all. I think this 11 could do a job in the Premier League, backed up with the players that we've already got. Yeah, I think this 11 would do alright, I really do. You look at it and it's like there's goals in that front three. The midfield is steady. As I say, you probably need someone maybe a little bit closer to the likes of Longstaff and Stark. Sanchez might be a little bit too attack minded, but in possession, he's the right kind of midfielder that we would need. Out of possession, maybe not. Certainly not against the more attacking teams. But that's where you bring on an Ampadu, a Gruev, a Tanaka. Someone that can do those defensive duties better than Sanchez can. This is where the quality squad depth comes into it. Tomiyasu, he ain't going to be fit, for the first month or two. So Bogle would, keep his place at right back, and I wouldn't have an issue with that. Bornau's got a bit of a knock, so you're looking at Rodon again, no issues there. Strout comes in for Biol. Byram comes in for Goodmanson, which, again, Byram's got Premier League experience and he's very defensively sound. Darlow would come in for Perry if we needed him. On the wings, Dan James. Can't count Dan James out. That pace is going to be a nuisance for opposition defenders, there's no doubt about that. Left wing, you're looking at Ramazani or Nonto. And again, more than capable. And then up front, Pirro. No issues there whatsoever. And Nemecha. The squad depth then looks good. Looks very, very good. And at that point then, this is all about squad quality depth. it's not about just having a good first 11. You need depth, but we need to add that quality onto the players that we've already got, and we're getting there. You know, as I say, Nemecha, you know, it wouldn't be a guarantee that Nemecha doesn't start when you've got Pirro in good form, and you bring in a player like Burkhardt, who also knows where the goal is. Yeah, if we could get this 11 in and couple that with the players we've already got, oh man, this would be an 11 that to me would survive in the Premier League. I really believe that. This is a good lineup. This is a good lineup. The only thing about it is, could you get it to gel? Could you get this lineup to gel as a team? That would be my only minor concern. But I like the look of it. You know, we've already got. I mean, if you take Burkhardt out of the equation and put Nemecha in there, you know, we've got Nemecha, we've got Longstaff, we've got Stack, we've got Goodmanson, we've got Biol, we've got Bornau, and we've got Perry. You know, the players are coming in now. The players are coming in now, and it's just that depth. We just need that squad quality depth, don't we? And this is definitely getting there. You know, Adam Underwood's doing a very good job. You know, he's brought in some good players so far, hasn't he? In terms of leading that scouting network now. And yeah, I mean, the proof is going to be when they come out onto the pitch, you know, for the first time. You know, against Everton. But I like it. I do. And if we could get, as I say, if we could get that lineup, better than Burnley, better than Sunderland, you know, so then all we've got to do is just avoid that other relegation zone spot. Could this 11 do it? I think it's got a chance. It's got a chance, hasn't it? To stay up, you need goals. Right? You need goals, and that front three is packed full of them. Stark is going to be a beast anchor man in front of that back four. Longstaff's got all the leadership skills and know-how of the Premier League. Sanchez, for me, the weak link might be Sanchez. Maybe we'd need to look for a different type of midfielder to Sanchez, but again, I just feel like we need someone that's going to be a bit more forward-thinking than Longstaff and Stack. And Sanchez is younger than he's the youngest player in this lineup. And then, as I say, that back four is not bad, you know. That back four is not bad. I don't think much gets by it. Like, you know, if you're talking the bottom half Premier League teams, how many times are they going to get beyond that kind of back line? Has the Premier League got that good that it would make this lineup look rubbish? I don't know. I mean, only time will tell, won't it? You know, when we start playing. When I'm going to be at the Villarreal match at Ellen Road, and I'm looking forward to seeing, you know, the new boys that we've signed hopefully feature in that lineup. But if we could just fill out the rest of that lineup with these boys, I think it's a good 11. I really do. I can't see that 11 getting relegated. I can't. You've got goals plenty up front. Maybe we need someone slightly less attack-minded than Sanchez. That would be my only main concern. And maybe the fitness of Tomiyasu. You know, he needs to get fit before we would consider getting him. There's no point signing a sick note. He never passes medical. But if you could get him fit, if you could get Tomiyasu fit, I think about, you know, it's a free transfer, and you know, it's like Nemecha. It's like bringing in Nemecha. You're not spending anything on a transfer fee, and you're bringing in a good player. So I just wonder on that one. I mean, people are raving about Lucas Perry. You know, he could very well be the third best Brazilian goalkeeper out there at the minute, behind Becker and Edison. It's possible. Nothing wrong with that. I like the look of Gunmanson so far. He's looked decent. I think if Gabby gets used to playing for Leeds and gets used to the Premier League, I think he could be a right player from what I've seen so far. A lot of people are raving about Stack, and I mean, he's a unit, isn't he? 6'4" of a German brick wall. You ain't getting past the Berlin Wall, or in this case, the wall of Stack. Not without a fight, that's for sure. You've got all that experience of Longstaff. Maeda's been banging them in for fun in Scotland, and I know it's the Scottish League, but it's Celtic. You know, they're a good team. Orsolini, fantastic season he had for Bologna. Burkhardt, fantastic season he had for Eintracht Frankfurt. You know, bring these boys in. You know, forget Pajau. He's at Marseille now. So now you look at alternative options. I'd like to see a lineup like this. I can't lie. I would definitely like to see it. You know, if these boys were to be signed, and you get them up against the, you know, everything that the Premier League has to offer. Yeah. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. This would be very, very tasty. And, you know, imagine this 11 against Leeds' best current 11. So you're looking at, we'd have to imagine Darlow, just because Meslier likely to leave now that we've signed Perry. So you're looking at Darlow, Bogle. It'd have to be Byram because again looks like Schmidt will leave. So Darlow, Bogle, Byram, Strout, Roden. Midfield three then of Gruev, Ampadu, Tanaka, Dan James, and then a toss-up of either Ramazani or Nonto, and then Pirro up front. I'm liking that depth. I'm liking that squad depth. I really am. If we could nail that down, confirm that squad depth in, I reckon it's a squad that stays up in the Premier League. 17th place. I don't care as long as we're above that relegation zone. I couldn't give a monkey's how high up we are for our first season back, as long as we're not in that bottom three. As long as we're not in the bottom three, I don't care. I'd take 17th all season long, because then we stay in the Premier League and then we build and get better and better and better season upon season. That is the aim. I think Brentford are in trouble. I think Wolves might be in trouble. Those would be your two main targets. Those would be your two main targets. I think those two teams are in real problem. Wolves were very poor last season, and Brentford, I mean, they've lost they're losing their best players and their manager. So those two teams could be in trouble. There's people reckoning West Ham aren't in great shape either. As long as they keep Potter, apparently he's not right popular there. You'd think that the squad depth that West Ham have though is a bit too good. But is the squad depth really that great at Wolves? Is it that great at Brentford? Not now. I'm telling you, this 11 here, this 11 they'd put up a fight against those teams. Better than Burnley's. It's better than Sunderland's. I know Sunderland have signed Xhaka, one player. Rest of the team are kids. No kids in this lineup. Never by Sanchez at a squeeze. You know, he's not exactly a kid, he's in his early 20s. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. So I'll leave it at there. I'll leave it at that, folks. What do you think of this lineup? We've got a lot of it already. And as I say, I know we don't have Burkhardt yet, but we do have Nemecha in terms of the new signings. Apologies for Goodmanson's name again, it won't fit it on. It won't fit it on, so I have to take out the vowels to allow it to fit on. Silly really. But yeah, there we go folks. So let me know, what do you think of this lineup? Do you think this lineup, on top of the squad depth that we've already got sticking around from last season, do you think that would be enough to stay in the Premier League? Or do you think that we would need to make some alternatives to the ones that we haven't signed on this list? Put your comments in, put your thoughts in the comments down below. Put your 11s in there that you think, do you think we need as many as 11 new players? I think we do. I think we need a new player for every position to add that quality. This is no gimme, right? This is no given that we're going to stay in the Premier League this coming season. Not by a long shot. And the squad that we've got, apart from the new players we've already signed, yes, a lot of them do have some Premier League experience, but we need the additional quality. And that's where I think this 11 comes in. I wouldn't expect this 11 to start every game. You're talking some of these players will be on the bench. Probably Tomiyasu, Bornau, maybe Maeda. So some of these boys will be filling out the bench. But at the end of the day, we need a squad. We don't just need an 11. We need a quality squad. And I think if we added this 11 to it, or Sanchez would be on the bench as well, I think. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Tell me if you like it. Once we've made a few more signings, in the hope that we do make some more signings, I'll do another one of these. With obviously more Leeds United players in it, rather than players that I'd just like to see at Leeds. But in the meantime folks, leave it at that. Big thank you as always. Do please hit the like button. Do please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll keep churning out these videos for as long as the transfer window is available to buy players. And I'm going to be at Ellen Road for the Villarreal match, in where hopefully I get to see the players that Leeds have signed. I'm really looking forward to it, and I'll probably do a video reviewing the match, I think. So keep an eye out for that one. In the meantime, big thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye for now.